Hello everybody and a very warm welcome to this video. Now in this video we're going to be talking about getting letters like this from HMRC talking about making tax digital for income tax. Reminder to submit your quarter. Now for anyone who doesn't know, making tax digital is all around the idea that instead of you sending one tax return each and every year, you're now going to have to make quarterly returns followed by a final declaration like you've always have done. And this video, we're going to talk about rental. Now, rental has their own little quirks and everything that goes with it. And if you now need to do MTD, so basically at this point in time is if your income, so that's the amount of money that you earn from rental and maybe any subcontracting work or any self-employed work, if all of that comes up to over £50,000, then at this point in time, you are now required to do quarterly up submissions, but that's going to drop down to 30 and then so on and so forth. So at some point, if you're doing rental income, there's a very high chance you're going to need to figure out how to do this in software. And that's what this video is going to be. We're going to grab some software, we're going to grab some details we want, we're going to walk it through together, and you're going to be ready to make sure that you can file for MTD. Let's roll the intro and get straight into this one. Hello everybody, my name is Patrick. I am a chartered accountant, a certified UK trainer and fancy new logo, that QuickBooks Chap on the internet. I am head of the AAG accounting group, which has brands like Businessworks and Boffix. And finally, I am a podcaster who goes live each and every Monday morning for Ask the Accountant. Now, my whole role, or what I want to achieve out of these YouTube channels, is to make sure that we give back to people like yourself. We want to be making sure that you know how to submit, how to file, how to do everything, and how to keep yourself compliant in small business, or in this case, in rental property. So what I want to do first is I want to go through particular items that you may have to look out for in order to be ready to be able to file your MTD. Because remember, in MTD world, we're now talking about quarterly updates that we need to figure out. So we're not having to submit things all at the very end. We have to go and submit quarterly, and they want a lot more detail. If you think about the old tax return, we were literally filling in a few boxes, right? Like the total amount of rent you received, maybe some expenses you've related to, and then you kind of like go down there, and there's quite a few boxes you have to fill out. Well, the flip side of that is making tax digital means that A, we have to record all these items on a regular basis. B, we need to submit the detail behind those numbers that we're going to do, and again, on a quarterly basis using software. Now, we're going to go through the software side of things in a moment, but let's have some tips and tricks on what you should be looking out for. So first of all, make sure you get yourself a bank statement for that particular period. Now, this is a made-up bank account, thanks to our friend over at Claude, the North Bank Personal Banking. This is all made-up information. You need to make sure your dates are going to be correct. That's actually the incorrect dates at this point, because we're looking at 2026 at this point in time. But the idea would be that you would have all of the information related to that: April, May, June. Now, pro tip number one, if you're not already using a separate bank account, please, please, please start as you mean to go on. Start moving into a separate bank account. It doesn't necessarily need to be a business bank account, but it probably does make sense to go out there and get yourself a business bank account as well. But the idea is you've got this bank statement in front of you and it's got information that's going to be relevant to it. And you want just really your business, or in your case, your rental income, to be ones that are going through from here. So you can see I've got my money coming in from my lettings people, and I've got some mortgage interest to worry about there as well. And then I'm going to have to figure out any other expenses, like maybe some accounting fees from AAG, maybe some landlord insurance I've got to figure out. There's going to be all these expenses that come through it. And the very least is you need those bank statements to be able to make a starting point. The next most important thing that you're going to have to figure out is the rental income side of things, because it is a bit quirky as a rental, right? If you are just renting it out by yourself and there's no other kind of people involved, there's no letting agents or anything like that, then it's relatively straightforward. We would apply what we call a cash basis. So as the cash comes in, so the rent receives to you, that's what you're going to record. That's basically what the MTD side of things is going to show, right? You've received X amount of income in that period. Everybody's happy. It's hit your bank account. You've recorded it. It's hitting your bank account. Boom, job done. But if you like in this case here, where again, this is all made up, but imagine it was a case where the monthly rent was £1,250, 10% fee was £125. That means I'm only actually going to receive £1,125 into my bank, right? And if I just go back to that bank statement that we had here, you'll see that 1250 appears at the bottom there. that 1125, should I say, that and the 1125 here. These are those transactions that are coming in. Now, in this case, they're quite consistent, so it makes it nice and easy for me. But if I only record the 1125, I'm under declaring how much rental income I've had, right? Because that's not the full end of the story. I actually received £1,250 with that £125 rental fee and management fee there. Now, that's where it gets quirky when it comes to rental income and how to declare it. And the term there is called grossing up. So what we've got to be making sure is, yes, we want to attach our bank account. We want that bank account transactions to come in. But when they come in at net, we need to bring them up to gross, and we need to show that. And I'm going to show you how to do that in the software when we come to it. So that's quote number one. Quote number two is going to be the mortgage side of things as well. We want to be making sure that we're only declaring what interest has been applied to that mortgage. So if you've got interest only, it makes it nice and easy. So all those payments that have been made out, they're going to be interest. You put that to interest only, everybody's happy. If though you've got a repayment mortgage, and you're making repayments and you're paying interest at the same time, then we do need to be careful of that. And again, we need to split that correctly. Now, when it comes to rental, depending on your personal circumstances, depending on how much you're actually earning, etc., depends on actually how much of that mortgage element of it is actually allowable. Some of it might be restricted, all of it might be allowable in terms of mortgage interest. So there's quirks like that we need to figure out. Then the next issue is figuring out anything outside the bank account. In realistic terms, anything that's in the bank account, we're going to attach the bank account to our software, and within the software we're going to allocate those transactions. So we should be able to make them quite easy. And after a little bit of kind of those first couple of quarters, I'm really confident you're going to get to grips with it and you're going to be absolutely fine going forward. It's always going to be those items outside the bank account. You've got two ways of dealing with them. My personal recommendation to you is actually make the transaction in the bank account in the first place. So to do that, what I'm saying is you want to reimburse yourself for any expenses you may have incurred outside the bank. Things like mileage claims, maybe use of home, anything that you've got that is more of a claim against the company or claim against a rental property. Paying yourself that, creating that transaction in the bank account so that when you come to do your banking and bookkeeping, you're able to allocate, oh, I took that figure there to reimburse myself for the mileage I incurred here. That way you're creating the transaction within the bank, right? Makes it so much easier to A, remember it, B, then you can just clearly be able to allocate it like you've allocated everything else that we're going to talk about today in the software. The other option is using the software to be able to record transactions outside of it. But full disclosure, that one, A, gives you an opportunity to forget about it, and B, sometimes that can be a little bit messy and you can sometimes cause yourself a bit of kind of complication if you don't know the software inside and out. So make a choice. Are you going to make it really easy on yourself and just generate the transaction in the bank account by reimbursing yourself for any expenses incurred? Or are you also going to, or are you going to rely on the fact that you're going to remember to claim for expenses and bring that through it? Either way, let's go and actually look at software and figure out exactly what's going to be best for you. Now, the first thing you need to do with FreeAgent is get yourself logged in. Once you've logged in, you're going to get yourself to this amazing overview screen shown here. Now, the most important part of it is the banking area. You want to jump straight into the banking area, go into the banking side, and start making sure that the transactions that have come through have all been approved. Be aware on the left-hand side, any data that you've got. I'm just going to put all time periods on, and you can see the transactions start flowing through just here. Nice, that's exactly what we want. If you haven't got it, you need to make sure you're enabling your bank feed top right-hand corner. This is by far the most important bit about anything that comes into FreeAgent, is about making sure you attach the bank account so those transactions come through. And then as the transactions come through, you click into the transactions and you allocate what they relate to, what the type is, and it's going to ask you those questions. Well, the great thing about FreeAgent is its guardrails. It's going to ask you many different types of questions to make sure those transactions have been put to the right place. And that means you're going to be able to put those in nice and easily. Now, the way you're going to deal with that whole rental issue, you remember what I said about the fact that when you've got rental statements here, you've got the amount that's come in, but what you receive is going to be different. Let's imagine on this transaction that, yeah, £100 come in, but actually it was £500, but there's just been some repairs that we've had to deal with in that period, right? Plus a management fee. Well, to do that, you can use your adjustment and add fees or commission. So here you can see what fee needs to be added. And I'm going to say that there was a £60 10% fee. So I'm going to make sure that's been accounted for. And I can save and add another. And then I'm going to say there's £440 worth of repairs and renewals. So I press other, that way I can go repairs and renewals. And personally, I would upload the file as well. I'd get that actual rental statement, I'd upload it, press save and finish. And that transaction is now ready to go in. So what you'll see it's done here, it's gone, right, well, money in £600, that's gone directly to my rental. £60 is for the 10% fee, which I normally put to management charges, but that's just why I put it for near. And then here's £440, which has gone towards my repair costs from there. And what it's done is it's split that transaction up for me, right? It's made it so that it's grossed up. That's why it's working with you. It's making it easier for you to go through. And now I've got that in there, that's now going to be accounted for and everything's going to go through accordingly. Anything to do with any expenses, I'm going to find the expense and I'm going to put it against it. So I click into it. I can even add an attachment like I've done here, find a category that relates to it, add the transactions, nice and straightforward. Where I think it gets really nice though, and where I think you're going to really like it, is anything outside of that is really straightforward. So if it's anything outside the bank account, then I would use the mobile app to add it directly from there. You can even take a photo, bring the transaction straight in. To file the MTD return, you're going to go over to the taxes area and make sure MTD has been enabled from there. One thing that FreeAgent will do for you that's better than any of the others, actually walk you through it. Everything's going to be seen on the screen here. You're going to see the information being thrown to you. You're going to be able to see a nice little time frame of what needs done and what obligations you've got and everything that goes through it. This is why I love FreeAgent. I think FreeAgents have done a really good job of making it super simple and super straightforward and adding those guardrails so you can't just accidentally put transactions to the wrong place. And there we have it. There was a look at all of the information related to getting yourself MTD ready. Now, the one thing we didn't go through is actually registering for MTD in the first place, but don't you worry about it. If you go over to our channel, you type the word QuickBooks Chap MTD into YouTube at the top here, you're going to see these particular videos. The one I would recommend is here. How to file your MTD tax on MTD step by step guide. Because what I do there is I actually go through the screens you should be looking at, how to get yourself registered in HMRC. So use those screens, go through, get them all ready for you and have yourself ready to be able to do it. And do that sooner rather than later. Don't leave that to the last minute. Once you've done that, you'll be able to then use the guide we've just done, go through all of that information and you'll be good to go. If there's any questions or anything like that, you've got two options. Use the comments below. Hopefully we can answer them for you there and then. Or consider going over to my link tree down below and booking a meeting with one of the team. You can either go to Boffix, BusinessWorks, or directly with me. And either way, we'll be making sure that you're supported for MTD. My name is Patrick. Thank you so much. If you like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and all that sort. Put some comments in below if you've got any issues or if there's anything you feel like I may have missed related to the rental side of things from Making Tax Digital. But honestly, Making Tax Digital, as much as a frustration it is, there is positives around it, right? Because even though MTD is frustrating, it means that you're going to have clarity. You're going to have clarity of what to expect from filing MTD going forward. What's your tax bill likely to be? You're going to understand where you are and everything else. And it means you're not going to leave it to the last minute. So, yes, it's frustrating, but use the positivity that you're going to be on top of things going forward and make sure then that you don't feel like you're overwhelmed with the world of tax. My name is Patrick, as I said before. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.
Hello and welcome to this new series.
Hello and welcome to this video.
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 Hello and welcome to this video. Alright, let's get it set. Let's do this.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yes, I'm aware we go live every Monday.
The next generation is about everyone else that missed it.
Yeah. So current. All right, you've told us what you love about the industry, but what would you change about the industry?
Where do I start?
During that period of time, where did everyone turn to? Their accountant, right? Their advisor, the bookkeeper, knew all did phenomenal work for small business.